That rock that is to the left of Ben, well, I went to the left of that. Oh boy, week number 9. This series has absolutely flown by. Today we are diving into the final race, which I believe is going to break down into 2 parts, day 1 and day 2. And with that being said, let's get on in it.
Your 2 hours starts now. Last time on Pinkbike Academy.
I love the challenge today.
Hey, GoPro, start recording.
Holy crap, I'm dying.
Yeah!
For the video challenge, I definitely like Ben's the most.
Evan.
A couple things I want to talk about today. Still working on episode 6.5. Just having scheduling issues, but it is coming eventually. I promise it's coming. I believe they're going to show a better picture of where I actually crashed when I fell and broke my back, so I want to get into that a little bit more detailed. And then a big question a lot of people are asking, what's up with the kind of obscure challenges? What do they have to do with racing? What do they have to do with being a professional athlete? We'll get into that. And then what was the energy like between contestants on and off set? We'll get into all that today.
Ben, Joe, Evan, welcome to the final 3. Before we start today's final challenge, we set up a call with Orbea's own Damien Oton. He hails from France, the birthplace of enduro, and he stood atop many podiums at the elite level of racing. This is your chance to pick his brain on being a pro rider. Let's get him on screen. Damien, how's it going?
Good, guys. How are you?
Good, good. I have you live here with the final 3 contestants on the Pinkbike Academy.
This was a really cool opportunity for them. One thing you don't think about whenever you are, well, if you've never done it before, is setting up contracts and that kind of stuff for being an athlete. And I doubt they put much of that on the show because that's kind of the boring side of it, but they had the opportunity to talk to him and discuss like what contracts mean, how to approach sponsors, that kind of stuff, what the real nitty-gritty side of being a pro athlete is. And it was really a cool opportunity for them to do that because, well, most people, unless you've been a professional athlete, have no idea what they're doing when it comes to nailing down contracts and how to make yourself worth more money here and to even bring up that discussion. So that was a really cool opportunity they had with Damien there.
Management with them at all?
My goal is just to race and, well, to help the young guys also. Well, I do my best to show them how to perform, but that's it, yeah.
I'd love to be someone that younger guys look up to and be able to help them through the steps to becoming a pro rider. And yeah, it'd just be super cool to be able to travel as a job.
In between stages, like say you get to the top.
Throughout this entire competition, at first Evan was a little quiet and a little, not to himself, but just like, I don't know if it was shy or what it was, but he's really come into his own here, and I just love that guy. I mean, every time he talks, he just gets you excited to ride a bike, and the thought processes that he has behind the entire competition, I just absolutely love.
You have 10 minutes before your drop in. Do you do anything in between stages, or do you just use the climb to be warm?
The warm-up, to me, it's really important. To even to do some push-up and some exercise at the top, and then after the stage 1 for the other one, I do nothing. I just take it easy. To the top of the other one. So who's gonna stole my spot? In the team.
What, no one? No one want to take his spot?
No, I want to be on the team with him, not take a spot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to take his place just because I like to actually learn from him, right? So obviously one day maybe, but right now it'd be cool just to actually go and be able to ride and learn from him.
All right, Damien, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks to you guys.
Final 3 racers. Let's go out there and get racing.
Yeah.
Riders, welcome to the final challenge. We are going to push you to the limit with a multi-stage, multi-day enduro race.
Now it's getting down to like, well, it's more than just a TV show. It's like a life-changing contract and maybe a bit more nerves, but hopefully we'll be able to defeat them.
We've marked out a course here on Big White.
That's a good point that Evan brings up, and it touches a little bit on my question about the energy on and off set. Is no one, at least from where I was, no one was in this competition as in, this is a way for me to make $25,000 and sign a pro contract. That was more just a side product and a benefit of doing this contest. Everyone was so level-headed the entire time. The energy was very good between all the contestants. Everyone was very respectful. We all had a really good time together. After filming during the day, we'd have a barbecue on Tom, Evan, and Ben's porch and just have a good time. We played cards together almost every night. Ben is the king of cards. Tom is a close second, and Evan even gets in there once or twice, but Ben is the king of cards, at least on set. So the energy was really good. It was well-rounded and just a pleasure to be around everybody. And I believe that I speak for everybody in that sense.
It'll test your fitness, your technical riding ability, and your endurance.
My only way at this point is to like ride as hard as I possibly can and like send it as hard as I can and like not hold back even a little bit.
After 2 days of racing, we will crown the winner of the $25,000 plus a pro contract from Orbea Bikes. No twists, just racing. Joe, as the only female contestant, will have our very own Christina Chapetta set a benchmark time that you will be judged against. Speaking of Christina, she will once again be judging you, as well as Fabienne. They'll be looking at your race times, but as well as your overall attitude throughout the whole challenge.
All of us really just didn't realize how big it was and how like, cool it'd be to win it. So definitely just, you know, it gets in your head a little bit.
Riders ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Jason got his air horn to work that time. That's funny. He struggled with that a few times.
Having the support from Orbea as well as the money from Pinkbike, it would just open up so many options, be able to not work full time, put more time into training, overall focus, like just having.
One of the coolest things that I don't think I've mentioned before, and I believe it was hinted or dropped at somewhere in previous episodes, but Evan legitimately like quit his job to drive to Kelowna to be in this contest. That's some hardcore dedication and very, very rad.
Having those resources would completely change the game.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really surreal feeling at this moment. Like, woohoo! The biggest thing is like learning from these guys. They're so fast and dialed. And I get to like have them all to myself and they can show me the lines. So I just feel like super lucky to be here where I am right now.
It's so cool having your friends there. Just support and jokes kind of take your mind off the bad.
Oh, it's the worst pedaling uphill with people yelling at you. Like, it sucks.
Oh, that's so true. It's so demoralizing. Just makes the hill feel so much longer. But at the same time, it's good motivation to get to the top.
Thank you. Oh God.
Stage 1 will take the contestants down Rockhammer, a short but gnarly and physical stage. Stage 2 will take them down Hubba Bubba and Squirts, which will test their endurance as well as their ability to keep things clean. Finally, Stage 3's trails will be an incredibly physical run down Hubba Bubba, Black Slabbath, Squirts, and finally Stacked Deck.
It's gonna be some good racing. Some cool tracks.
It was the first time that like some hardcore butterflies started flitting around because I actually allowed myself to imagine myself in the position of being able to ride a sick bike all year, being supported. It's like support I've wanted for so long. However, the biggest mistake would be to crash. So I'm just gonna ride as smooth and as hard as I can and just really focusing on setting up for really good lines. Yeah, I'm really gonna focus on riding hard, but not blowing up.
Oh, so here we go. Right. Oh, there's a good shot of it. Maybe we'll even get a better one later, but.
Obviously, I'm not faster than Ben and Evan. That's just a fact. But I think that I'm a strong rider. I ride smooth. I can still send it in the gnar. Yeah, I'm definitely a contender for all those things. And I think that I have something more to offer than the boys have. So yeah, I really do think that I have an edge for sure.
It's a good point. So as Joe said, she didn't expect to be the fastest, but Joe has a lot of strengths that maybe Evan and Ben don't necessarily cater to. Like the coaching aspect, that's pretty cool when you're speaking from a company's perspective on an influencer or an ambassador. Like, having a coach online is a big deal. That's pretty cool. She reaches a lot of people every day, specifically working with them on bikes and bike skills. That's a pretty big favor in her hand, I have to say.
Yeah, you can definitely feel the passion and a little bit of the race butterflies. Luckily, I'm able to stay pretty calm through it all, like dropping into the race runs. I wasn't too nervous and not getting into my head, but there's definitely something there.
Evan is so fast.
I definitely think that I deserve to win it. I've worked really hard all my life to become a professional mountain biker, and I don't even know what I would do if I won. I would definitely just train hard and really focus on my racing, and I think I'd make the most of it. So yeah, definitely deserve it.
There we go. Boom. So now we'll do some drawing on with the pin. So that rock that is to the left of Ben, well, I went to the left of that and went straight off and splat. Yeah. Having flashbacks now, I remember the thoughts and the feelings and the pain, and it was definitely not fun. I laid there for probably 15 or 20 minutes before they were able to get me on the backboard and start my transportation down the mountain. I got lucky. I was riding with a buddy, fortunately. It's not very far from the top of the mountain. So probably a minute after I fell or so, a little Grom came down behind us and was able to stop and then go get the patrollees from the top, which fortunately it wasn't very far. And then make my way down the mountain. During the ride down the mountain, the EMTs told me that I was telling them to slow down over and over and over again. And at one point I was telling them to slow down even though we were completely stopped. I thought that was kind of a funny note. But all in all, like, I'm doing pretty well. I feel pretty good. Started physio. We're well on the road back to recovery. Continuing on. Yeah, Ben. Yeah, Joe.
Didn't get any easier, but that was fun.
It's a brutal track.
Oh my God, you're so fast. Yeah, buddy.
Oh, that's fun.
Woo, so fun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's that sixth section that I talked about with Bruno Natalia a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Ben looked good.
Yeah, dude.
Ooh.
How was it? So
Evan's
good.
got the advantage
Hell
still.
yeah.
2.5 seconds.
And 3, 2, 1, go!
So the majority of the trails at Big White all kind of start at the top. I think there's like 4 or 5 trails that start from the top. And then when you get to like the mid section, it just kind of like fans out and spider webs and explodes. And then there's just trails every which way you look down there. But they all kind of start in these same trails at the top, which is why you see them taking the same trails almost all the time from the top of the mountain, because there's only a few of them. Hubba Bubba was a pretty cool one. That was the first trail we raced on early in the week, like the first day of eliminations. This line was sick. Yeah. Just like a complete off-road line. It looks so good. Nice, Evan. So fast. Oh. Jeez. So here's an interesting point, at least in those sections, it doesn't look like they're going that fast, but it's because it's not very steep there. It's very flat, and it's a very physical pedaling, just like all out sprinting in those sections. They're just not very downhill. They're very flat there, and it's also incredibly rocky. Just, there's never any chance. There's never any relief moments. It is just ba 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 on those trails, just rock after rock after rock. Incredibly physical, which is why it doesn't look like they're going super fast, because it is a brutal section.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go!
This section's so sick. Yeah, Evan. Nice. Yeah.
About 3/4 of the way down the stage, I'd say. Just kind of leaned into a tight corner and.
Oh yeah, I remember
I
this.
flipped my derailleur and that ripped off.
So here he's
definitely cost
actually
some time there.
He's actually
pushing
scootering his
hard and you're
bike.
trying to go.
So that road section was not long, but it was a good ways, and he actually ended up scootering his bike across that because his derailleur ripped off, so he couldn't pedal and had to get off and scooter his bike, which is where you have one foot on the bike and then one foot on the ground, kind of pushing you along. Brutal.
Fast, you're gonna make mistakes. It's just the way it is. I'm definitely just trying to ride smooth as I can and try and ride fast, but mistakes are just gonna happen, and obviously you just need to focus on the next part of the track and forget about it and just keep working hard.
Yeah. That's one thing about Ben's riding, is he is just always smooth and in control and just super dialed in. I don't think he broke a single bike part all week. Just incredibly smooth, always in the right spot. Really pleasing rider to watch ride. Yeah, Joe.
How was it?
So sick. So sick.
I love Joe's enthusiasm. She's just so stoked to be on bikes. She's such a good energy to be around. Amazing spirit. So much fun.
Sad.
What happened?
I guess there was just a sneaker rock and took the derailleur hanger off. Bit of a bummer.
Come on, Ben. That section was so gnarly.
That was hard. Are you good?
Bike's not.
You all good though, healthy-wise?
Yeah. I don't know what happened. I just heard it.
Is it fixable?
I'll need a new
Roasted.
derailleur and hanger.
Like, there was part of me for a brief second, I kind of was actually wondering what Ben was thinking. I was wondering if Ben was like, oh, sweet. And I was wondering what Evan was thinking, if he was like, God. Or if we were, I think, honestly, we were just like in race mode, and in race mode, you help your buddies.
Who's providing these spare parts?
Angie. Thank you, Angie.
Orange Dreamsicle is no more.
Although without these spare parts, I'd probably have a lot more breath after this next stage.
If someone's at a disadvantage, it's good for you, but I don't want to win like unfairly, and I want to win with an equal opportunity to Evan. So obviously if you have a mechanical, it's your fault and you lose time because of it, but I don't want to like win just because someone broke their wheel. Like, it's kind of, I want to win fair and square. Yeah, when you get a mechanical, you just try to make the best of it, and I think that's what Evan did today.
Prior to that, I was feeling awesome on the bike. Lines were smooth, and luckily we were able to fix it up for the third stage.
Good thing Evan is a well-rounded bike mechanic.
2, 1, go!
His bike was pretty mangled. Man, come on.
You know a lot about a lot. You know it's easy to train.
Yep. In 3, 2, 1, go!
Back down, Hubba Bubba. This is the long one, so this time they race from the very
Half
tippy
my
top
body's like this sinking
to
feeling,
the
like,
bottom of the mountain.
I'm doomed. I'm out. And then the other half is like, oh my God, this might be happening. Like, but I'd say it's a battle between the two. But I'd say the one that's like, you're really awesome, is kind of winning right now until
Good for you,
talk
Joe.
about eliminations.
Good for you.
It's always frustrating when you get a mechanical or an unexpected crash, but being mad about it isn't really going to help. So you just carry on and do the best you can from there.
Go!
That is one major takeaway I will get from Evan, is he has such a good outlook on everything. I mean, as he just said, like, most people would have gotten frustrated or mad because they got a mechanical and ripped off their derailleur, but in the moment in time, it does you absolutely no good to get mad at a mechanical. You're better off just keeping a level head and just fixing the problem and addressing the problem at hand than getting mad, getting yourself worked up, potentially making the problem worse. That is an incredible outlook on racing, and kudos to Evan. It's actually very difficult, at least for myself, to be that chill.
Yeah, boy!
So fast through that section.
I just made a few
Alright,
sloppy
Ben.
mistakes at the top of the third stage and blew the first corner, basically.
Even when he blows it, he's
Just
still
kinda
so fast.
Came in a little inside and a little hot, and then you get a little excited sometimes, and you come in too fast, and then it's just so loose and dry, and you start like blowing out turns and not carrying very good speed. I just need to keep focusing on the racing, and then hopefully that'll be enough to win the thing. But you can't think about winning the contract until you get to that point.
Like, early in the week when I was still in it, nobody was thinking about the contract or the money. But getting down to these final three, I imagine, is just constantly in their head. That's got to be hard to battle. It's one thing to be racing for racing, but racing for that much at stake, like Evan said, it's life-changing. How you deal with that pressure definitely shows a lot about what type of athlete and what type of person you are.
Rider coming in.
Yeah. That was such a hard corner.
Yeah, Joe
Yeah,
Peters!
Joe. Oh, Evan on the
Rider
gas.
coming in.
My goodness gracious, we have got
I don't have enough breath to yell.
Ben hits this corner so smooth. We were all just wondering how they were going to take that corner at full race speed. It was like downhill, loose rock.
All right, final 3. We are in the end game now. Now, speaking of the boys, we're seeing a battle here. They're going back and forth. They've been going back and forth all season, really. What was it like out there for them today?
It was tough. It was a lot of pressure. We brought other contestants. Pressure was on.
Then, Christina, I'm going to go to you for Joe, because she's the lone woman left in the competition. She was technically racing you, or at least we're judging her time based on your times. How did that go for her and you today?
Going into the race day, she had a couple of practice laps this morning with the boys on track. She probably felt pretty sweet. And then as soon as she found out there was like legitimate competition on track, I could see a bit of a switch.
My only way at this point is to like ride as hard as I possibly can and like send it as hard as I can and like not hold back even a little bit.
It became a little bit more real at that point, and she was like, oh, okay, like I've got some competition. It's, you know, not just her own head game in the start gate. It's looking around at your competitors and trying to hold your own out there.
Evan had a major bobble on stage 2.
It was like, I mean, pretty dramatic.
Hang in there.
What happened?
Took the derailleur hanger off.
He was a bit disappointed, but I have to say that his attitude was like really amazing into that situation.
Being mad about it isn't really gonna help, so you just carry on and do the best you can from there.
It's what every team manager wants, someone that stay calm. He really reacted like a pro.
I mean, when everything was done and dusted, Ben took the win for the day, I think about 3.5 seconds.
Yes, 3.43.
But that's not all we judged them on. We also judged them on attitude. So does Ben take the win today overall?
I think clearly there's not enough of a gap in time to justify giving the win of today to Ben because of the attitude of Evan on the other side. Really like had a bad day and like kept his heads up, and also he rode super fast with like derailleur hanging. It's like, please.
Christina, I want to circle back on Joe.
That brings up an excellent point, and back to one of my original questions of why such obscure challenges. They may seem obscure to the viewers, but the judges created those challenges. Each challenge was designed to pick out a certain attribute they were looking in an athlete, that Orbea was looking for in an athlete, whether it is, shamefully me, the ability to follow the rules, put yourself in an awkward situation and see how you react and what your attitude is. Every challenge was actually designed for a specific attribute or specific quality that the companies were looking for. So they were really obscure challenges, and they may at one point in time have not seemed like, oh, this isn't going to find a good enduro athlete, but put all of them together in a ball and they pick out attributes that you need to ride on, whether it's the EWS circuit or whether you are becoming an ambassador for Orbea and creating content and influencing the world on what Orbea wants to say with their product. These challenges actually fully encompass that and really, to a T, nail down what it is to be a well-rounded athlete. It's not just about being the fastest on the day of. If it was, then we would have just done 3 races, maybe 1 full enduro day, and that would have been it. But it was designed to find the best whole athlete. One thing about this that I think is a common misconception is that this was not specifically to find an EWS podium position racer. This was to find an ambassador and a brand representative for Orbea. And I think these challenges, when all put together as a conglomerate, I think it did it very well, actually. And now we're finally down to the racing. Now we're just purely seeing who's fastest. But we still can look back on the last 8 weeks and see what it is to be a full, well-rounded athlete. So I think it does. I think, honestly, the obscure challenges were not as obscure as you think they are if you look back as a whole.
There's a time gap there between her and you, much more than the boys. Why do we keep Joe today?
Just in general, Joe has held her own so well through this whole competition. She, even herself, noticed that she was either getting better or faster, more comfortable on the bike as well.
I'm a strong rider, I ride smooth, I can still send it in the gnar.
Yeah.
How was it?
I was so sick.
Another great example.
I think the growth potential is definitely there for Joe, and she could be the full package.
Great attitude.
In just a few days' time,
Just
we're giving away
all
a bunch
around
of money
great
and a pro contract.
representative.
Yeah, it's a life-changing thing. Excited to see what happens.
It's pretty much anyone's game right now. So.
Anyone's game.
Bring it on.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Who had fun out there today?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sick.
So fun.
Well, I can say as a spectator, it was incredibly exciting watching everyone race. That being said, Ben, today you were the fastest, but not by much. There's only 3.43 seconds separating you and Evan after a full day of racing.
Good work.
Nice work, too.
Nice, guys.
You made some mistakes, and it showed on your face, and the judges took notice. Remember that they are looking at your timing, but also your attitude. Joe, you're the last female here.
Yep.
We think you could win this thing. Do you?
Yeah, I think that I offer like a fun, approachable way of biking. I ride gnarly lines and make them look smooth and doable. And that's kind of my goal with riding, is to inspire other women, be like, it's not that crazy. Like, you could do it too. I think that I can really excel at that.
Your time today was quite far off the back of Christina's. Do you have more in the tank for tomorrow?
Yeah, I think I definitely, rode as hard as I possibly could. I rode cleanly and smoothly. I'm super stoked if I get to race tomorrow. I definitely have, energy to throw down for sure.
Brings us to Evan.
Good attitude.
Yeah.
Really good attitude.
Amazing attitude on the bike as usual. But broken parts do not result in wins.
No, they don't.
Do you think a mechanical is grounds for elimination?
I don't think so, no. Mechanical will set you back, but also like how you overcome it and push forward. And mechanical like that, I was able to work through and was able to get it fixed and continue racing here.
Well, looking at the criteria, you could have been up for elimination tonight if we were sending someone home. The judges want to see how you all perform on a 2-day race, so they will give you that opportunity. But guys, it's the final challenge. The judges are looking for who wants this the most. I know you're all friends, but tomorrow, you're competitors. There are thousands of riders out there who would kill to be in your spot right now. So go home, get some rest, and think about that. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So with these two races, that dynamic offset completely changed. Now, I don't mean anybody was being a jerk or anything like that, but when we were all partying and having a good time back at the apartments, and when they got home, it was eat your food, prep your stuff for the morning, get to sleep. It was like full on race mode. The dynamic for those three had completely changed. It was business. They came back and they saw the competition ahead and did exactly what they needed to do to prepare for that competition. They didn't stay up till midnight with us playing cards. They were all business. And that's something that's really hard to do. If you're out traveling the world with your friends, it's hard to remember that although it's fun and it's exciting, you do come there with a job to do and you come there to race. So having that control to be able to put away playing and hanging with all your friends for a couple hours to make sure that you're dialed to a T for a race is pretty good in an athlete as well. Wow, just one race left to determine the entire thing. That went by so quick. I can't wait. It's funny, I know exactly what's gonna happen. I was there, but it's still so much fun. I absolutely love this series. Okay, for episode number 9, that's a wrap with that. Make sure you like the video if you do. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the notifications if you want to know when I upload videos, which I am continuing to do so and hopefully will through the distant future. With that being said, I'm Addison Zawada. I'll see you later.